The World's Fair in 1893 took place in Chicago, Illinois, and was known as the World's Columbian Exposition. The Windy City of Chicago was host to almost a quarter of the entire country's population. The intent of the fair was to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus's arrival in the New World by showing off new inventions and ideas. The fair was important because it had 46 different nations participate and was a very influential event both socially and culturally for America. It displayed the industrial optimism that was present in American society to the rest of the world in a spectacular way. The exposition had many great attractions, exhibits, pavilions, and buildings lining the streets of Chicago for the millions of visitors, and was open from May 1st, 1893 until October 30th later that year.
The largest attraction at the event was the 264-foot-tall Ferris wheel, which was an iconic and picturesque part of the 1893 exposition. This was the first official Ferris wheel invented and carried about 38,000 passengers each day it was in operation. It was very popular and crowds from all over rushed to Chicago to ride the wheel. It was designed and constructed by the very intelligent George Washington Gale Ferris Jr. The Chicago wheel, as it is often called, had 36 cars, each fitting 60 passengers, and took 20 minutes to complete 2 full rotations. This was much different than the Ferris wheels of today. Each rider paid 50 cents to board and were amazed by the first experience on the new invention for the world to see. The popularity of the first Ferris wheel goes to show how special this event was to America and how important it was during this time period to make things big, bold, and new.
One of the many items still around today originating from the 1893 fair is Aunt Jemima's pancakes, which was a favorite for many. Aunt Jemima herself happened to have her own exhibit at the fair where she would cook for and serve pancakes to thousands of hungry spectators. Aunt Jemima's real name was Nancy Green, a former slave from Kentucky who became the spokesperson for the brand. Green had a very warm and comforting personality which translated to her products. Numerous amounts of people were enchanted by her and the delicious pancakes served at the fair. This name brand product we still have today, originating and gaining fame from the 1893 Columbian Exposition, shows how much of an impact that fair has had on the world today.
Another item that we still use today that was first introduced at the World's Fair is Wrigley's gum. While gum was not a new invention at the time of the World's Fair, clever marketing tactics caused the gum industry to be revolutionized. Wrigley's gum was invented by William Wrigley Jr., who started his business by selling baking powder with free pieces of gum. As baking powder sales leaped due to the inclusion of gum, William realized that he should just start selling gum to make more profit possible. The introduction of Wrigley's gum at the World's Fair brought gum into popularity in mainstream America.
All of these inventions and ideas are an indication of the impact the fair itself had on the American people in 1893. This was a period filled with innovative ideas which came alive at the fair that brought so many people together. People were presented with all these ideas in one place at the same time, which was a new way of spreading them to the public. All this exposure led to advances in the economy and the national pride of the nation. People were proud to live in a place with all these new technologies, machinery, food, and ideas. Additionally, as we saw, many of these products originating in Chicago are still around to this day. This shows how important the World's Fair was in getting long-lasting ideas out to the U.S. as well as countries around the globe. Finally, the fact that World's Fairs still exist today shows how successful and important it truly was in 1893.
Perhaps the most important part of the ideas represented in the 1893 Chicago World's Fair is the focus and praise given to entrepreneurs presenting their companies and ideas to the world. This proverbial halo put upon these entrepreneurs that presented made them widely popular among the general public and, most importantly, the younger generations. This reverence led to more and more people attempting to break themselves free of the status quo and create their own products to present to the masses. Although many did not achieve this overarching goal, the overall mindset of breaking free of preconceived notions of success in this time period and moving towards one of individual innovation as a means of income is what the main takeaway is from an historical perspective. This shift in overall mindset led to constant invention and innovation through future years and eventually became a staple of the American principle as a whole. That idea that through one's own individual ideas and business ventures can lead to individual success and prosperity is the most important result of the Chicago World's Fair and this time period as a whole.